Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Spare Parts Racing. I am your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And this week, we get to hear all about Taylor's wonderful time at the Canadian Grand Prix. We also get to discuss if a certain driver should be kicked out of a seat. Who it is, we'll leave that for later. We get to talk about some Indycar and controversial takes regarding actual passing in a race. And we get to talk also about some other random stuff that happened and possibly end with a quiz if we have time. So, without any further ado, Taylor, how's Montreal?
Hello. It was great. Good as always. It was quite the experience this weekend. I drove, so I am dead. Also driving in Montreal is 1,000 times worse than Toronto, just so you know. Do not recommend. But the GP was great. The race itself was a little boring. But I thought there was a lot of good battles going on throughout the middle. Lando and Ocon's was really, really interesting, and watching that, because our grandstand seats, right, we're in the front row, so we could see every time Ocon drove by, we could see that wing doing a little shimmy.
Wobble.
Yeah, so it was very clear. But those kind of things, it's cool to watch. And it's an awesome atmosphere to be in. Yeah, it was a good weekend. There's some funny moments. Like I was telling you guys, there was a little bit of a funny kind of eat the rich experience when I don't know if you guys know, so the Paddock Club, right?
Yep.
If you buy, they're $20,000 tickets.
That hurts.
So immediately, you know what kind of people are buying those tickets. So part of the experience is that you get to go on this truck and be driven around the track after basically every session.
What is the appeal of that?
Yeah, so they get to just say that they've been on the track, whatever. But then the thing that's the massive piss off is that they wave to all the peasants who can't afford. Beyond that, they're just waving and waving. So for Friday and Saturday, we had general admission tickets, right? So basically what you're doing is you're picking the best spot that you can along the track wherever you can sit and camp in there for the day, right?
Yep.
So when these people are going by on Saturday, when we were just sitting in the grass, all you hear is, "You pay too much. You should pay your fair share in taxes." And go eat. You know what I mean? All of the different comments, and people were just not having it. And then, and then on Sunday, when we're sitting in the grandstand, because there's a lot more space and they can hear a lot more because you're just so much more out in the open. So they're driving by, and immediately in the other grandstands, all you hear is boo, and everybody's just thumbs down booing these guys. And of course they're they don't care. They have they're crapping money at this point, so they're just encouraging the audience and doing their kind of "I'm rich, you're poor" kind of thing. But I thought it was really funny.
I really wish
it just goes to show.
Were they at least
Yeah, I wish.
notable people? Or they?
Oh, heck
are
no.
we
They're
going
just your average show.
Oh, so we're just going way down the list. We're on G list, H list.
These aren't probably even list people.
No, that's
no.
What,
they're
that's
probably Bay Street finance bros who just could afford to be there and just could afford to get the $20,000 tickets.
Or daddy
that's who
bought
these
me
people
ticket.
are. Yeah, or daddy's money, trust fund babies, Nebo babies. You know what I mean? All of those.
I know.
Right? But cool thing is I did see Jensen Button, which was kind of cool. He we were on our way back to where the marshals are after the race on Sunday, and because we take an access road that the regular folk are not supposed to be on, we saw Jensen Button drive by in a cart. So we waved, and he waved back. So
Nice.
that was cool.
That's a good interaction.
Man of the
to have.
people.
Good job, JB.
Yeah, it was really cool because like all of a sudden you just kind of like, you know, that like a few years ago Peter and Mitch saw Vettel cycling down that road and gave him a high five. So like there's always an opportunity, you never know. So it was kind of cool, like all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, oh, that's Jensen Button.
So how was getting in and out of the event? Because I know it can be difficult at
Hectic.
times and have like a little bridge for like every single person.
So it's very dependent on the time that you go. So on like Friday was the worst, and we honestly, I still don't know why. Do not know why it was bad. But we went kind of shortly before practice 2 started. So we did like we were at the spa in the morning enjoying ourselves before we went to the track. But that was the only time where it was like they had like closed it off the front part where you actually get in because there were too many people on the bridge and they couldn't actually get people through. But both Saturday and Sunday was pretty much a breeze. Like we just got right through. Security did a really good job of confiscating people's alcohol that they were trying to smuggle in because they always think that they can. They never do.
You strap
yeah,
it to the
otherwise
5
it was-
people.
Otherwise it was like it wasn't that bad. But there was like notably like a lot more people this year than there was last year. Like you could tell. It was a little bit nutty. Very much a zoo.
Anyway, the trick for sneaking booze into a race.
So like how this is what you're going back to.
This is the point I want to make. You buy a little plastic pouch that you buy. It's like a little, like you can put liquids in it. You can buy it off Amazon. They're cheap. You
Yeah.
fill up your booze with that, and you strap it to your leg, and you walk in, and they don't find it.
Well, it would have been worth it because let me tell you, the price of beer this year. So for like the, what is it, $3.55, like the small cans of Heineken. Why don't you guess how much it was for the small
Okay,
can?
small can of Heineken. Okay,
$15.
I was gonna say 12.
Actually, it was 11.
Ooh.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
You're both close.
that's-
But also the non-alcoholic was also $11.
Ugh, that's
What?
a bad deal. So like, what would you be willing to pay before you're like, this is bullshit, Steven?
I
Like
don't
for
know,
a small
honestly.
can.
$6.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say $6. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, if it's like more than, let's say, just over double the price of like the can itself at a beer store or whatever they have in Quebec. Yeah.
Yeah. So because you already have
That's
cheap
about
booze.
right.
You already have cheap booze in Quebec anyway.
Yeah.
Like on the one hand, it like you do expect it. You expect the crazy prices, but like so I mean like I was drinking, right? But they had a sangria stand. Haha. They had a sangria stand that it was $13.50 per drink. But what you got was like a pretty decent, like almost tall boy sized, actually probably bigger, of sangria. So it was worth it. Like it was worth the $13.50.
Yeah, I'd buy
Paying
that
$11.
for a little can.
Yeah, paying $11 for a little can is ridiculous. And the fact
got a
that
can
I
here, I
saw
got a
so
can.
many,
Here, $11 for this.
Yes!
Yeah, 11.
Hard pass.
ridiculous.
That is stupid.
And the fact that I saw so many like guys, like big bodied dudes who were just absolutely plastered, and they're holding these little Heineken cans. I'm like, how much money did you spend just on beer
You pre-drink.
a day?
Yeah. Amateur hour,
You
clearly.
you gotta chug a bottle of like, I don't know, some kind of liquor on your way to the track. And-
Vodka.
yes. And then just be blitzed the entire time, and then top off with the little ones.
Yeah. You show up hammered, but not so incoherent you can't get in.
Okay, so a couple questions for you then, Taylor. So
Yeah.
the rain. How did you deal with the rain?
Oh my gosh.
I saw you toughed it out.
I wanted to unalive myself like at least once, but we did tough it out. So we arrived at like 9 4:15 in the morning, and we were there until after qualifying. It was horrible, but it was what it was. We sat there, we got drinks to try and keep ourselves warm with the booze. And then when the rain lightened up, we decided to go for a walk, and we walked like the entirety of like the spectator area of the track. At one point we found a bathroom, and like Paige had to like thaw her hands because they were so cold from the rain. And we got beaver tails. So we just did whatever we could to just like try and keep ourselves warm.
Nice.
But it was like struggle bus. It was struggle city.
That's fair.
And then I took a really hot shower when I got back to the hotel.
Good job. Does Peter have any fun stories of marshalling from this weekend?
Other than he saw the bird that got stuck in Max's brake duct, like that happened
Nice.
right in front of him.
I love that.
But he was at 4.5 on Sunday, so he didn't get a lot of good action or anything really outside of that. Yeah, so nothing terrible. But the other one was that Mitch got a nice slow-mo feature on the Jumbotron of him falling. So
Oh, that was Mitch?
that was
Nice.
actually really funny. Yeah, the marshal
Nice.
that fell during like one of the 1600 sessions. He was trying to get a steering wheel, and he took a little bit of a tumble
Oof.
and saved it, and it was right in front of a grandstand. And on their way back to the hotel after the day was done, they were talking about it, and one of the guys was like, "Yeah, I was in the grandstand. It was awesome, man. It's very funny." So, would love if anybody has footage. Please circulate. Send it to our spare parts, because we would love to have that.
You just
To
want,
forever
you just want
make
that.
fun of him.
Yeah, that's fair.
100%. Oh yeah, no,
Heard
100%.
Okay, so on to the race itself, because obviously we all watched it, because our home Grand Prix, obviously.
Oh, we can't miss it.
Exactly. What everyone think of the race?
I mean,
It-
honestly, it was the closest one, which is like saying something, because Max is usually like 30 seconds ahead. So to say that like it was the closest one we had, even though he was like 8 seconds, it was still good.
Steven?
Sorry, I think I just found the picture of Mitch falling.
Really?
Okay, send it to Taylor.
Send.
I will. Anywho, no, it was a solid race. The DRS train behind Albon kept it very interesting because it sort of forced guys off to different strategies. But yeah, like it was relatively close at the top. I guess compared when you look back to what's it called to Spain, the previous race, it was like not a 20-second lead, so that's always a little more entertaining of what could possibly happen. Yeah, it was again not an all-timer, but still I'd say a solid race.
That's fair. You had a good fight up front between Fernando and Lewis that went. Lewis got by him, Fernando got by him, and then Lewis came back at him, and Fernando
Yep.
held him off. Like
Those-
that's a good fight for the podium. If it was for the race win, people would be looking at this a lot better. But for the win, you had Verstappen run away with it again, which, I mean, the guy has horseshoes up his ass.
Yep.
Like he is so lucky, and like I don't mean to say that to like go against his skills or anything, right? Because he is good. Max is very good, but it just seems that he gets bad luck and it doesn't affect him. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, excuse me. Like Max gets a bird hitting his car, no problem, no big deal. He misses a turn, goes over the curb, doesn't get launched into the wall. Just, oh, whoops, haha, my bad, guys.
Yeah. That was a close one.
Or in qualifying, like, he is able to get his time in versus Checo, who struggles in the changing conditions, right? So
Yeah.
a lot goes well for Max, and damn is he good, but can we just have one race where, like, his luck runs out and he just blows an engine?
Yeah.
Just one. We wish.
We thought it was gonna be this week because Wall of Champions needs to claim somebody. It did not do its job.
Didn't do anything. Ugh.
Useless.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Wall of Champions.
So
I just haven't but we wish. We wanted. But
and we know next week,
no, alas.
the next race is gonna be Red Bull Ring. It's gonna be Red Bull 1-2.
And maybe that's when it'll happen. Red Bull needs a good result at their home track, and then they fuck up.
No. The day
And
Max
that's where it
gets the bad luck is the day where Checo is just there to take it anyway.
Yeah.
We're not getting the fun
Yeah.
results. But
I mean, at the rate Checo's going right now, he might not be there.
what do you mean?
Okay, so
Well,
wait, you didn't see it?
What?
He's upset. He's not happy.
I wouldn't be if
Yeah,
that's how
with
things
his
are either.
I
So-
don't think Checo. Again, nothing really he could do.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of he's had some bad luck with qualifying the past few races. He just hasn't, the strategy hasn't just worked out in his favor. It happens. I think he's worried that he's not going to be there next year.
I can understand his
From
frustration.
what it sounds like.
I can, but
Yeah.
if I'm looking at this race objectively, and again, looking at good luck to bad luck. First off, Max, great luck. Alonso, Hamilton, neutral. They did their thing. Maybe a little bad luck, maybe some good luck there. Ferraris had some great fucking luck and nailed a strategy for once. They shouldn't have even sniffed 4-5. And if it wasn't for that,
For once.
Paris is up in fourth. And it doesn't look that bad. From where he starts to where he gets, it's not bad.
I think, though, there is a little bit of an expectation that when you're driving the same car that Max is, I think there's a little bit of an expectation that you're doing a little bit better, that maybe you're consistently getting P2.
But
at the same time, though,
look at Q2 qualifying, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 guys who should have not been there got knocked out there. And that's Perez, Leclerc, and Stroll. All 3 of them did the same strategy, which was, I'm going to go in inters when everyone else gambled on the slicks. And the slicks was the better option.
Qualifying was a bit of a mess.
No, yeah, but that's a gamble. And it's not like you can say, oh, this guy tried to do something that he didn't know. It's 3 different drivers did it. Leclerc even asked his team to switch him, and Ferrari that one and said, no, stay out. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
No, you do not.
So for that to happen, I would say for those 3 guys, it doesn't show a lack of competence. All 3 of them had a similar strategy, and all 3 of them backfired. And guess what? That can happen. It doesn't show a lack of talent. And then when you get into DRS trains, it's hard to overtake.
Yeah.
Right.
And to get back to Checo quickly, I think for him, it's more just how the last, 3 weeks have gone, or 3 races have gone, 4 races have gone. It's just every single time he not even rolls the dice, but every single time it's for him, it's coming up snake eyes.
Yeah.
Right? It's just nothing's going right.
You had bad luck in Monaco.
It's just not working out.
But Monaco happens. You get bad luck. Spain.
I think, though,
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think that if I were him, the thought that sticks in the back of my head is how absolutely ruthless they are at Red Bull. That, whether or not you've had bad luck, if you are not performing up to the standards that they wish that you perform to, you're gone. You are out. There is no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And really no negotiation. They just don't care. They want the best, and that's that.
And I agree. But who would they replace Checo with? Because apparently this is the thing now.
Ricardo.
Everyone's talking about guys getting replaced. There's now like, Checo's going to be replaced. There's talking about De Vries getting replaced or Sargent getting replaced.
Yes.
None of that's going to happen, obviously. But you think...
I don't know, though.
You think
never
mid-season...
know. You can't say that, though.
But do you think mid-season you
I'm
put
not
Ricardo
saying
in that car?
mid-season.
You're saying end of the year?
Yes. I say end of the year, there are going to... Obviously, silly season is going to come, and there's going to be a lot of moves. We know that. It's bound to happen. I don't think that we're going to see the same grid next season.
I think
De Vries, I think,
right.
is a little bit in trouble. I think Checo, as great as he is and as much as he's proved himself in the last couple of years, I think he's in trouble just because Red Bull is Red Bull and they're just aggressive when it comes to their driver pairings. So I think there's a big chance. And I honestly do think that Ricardo is in a really good spot to make a comeback onto the grid for next season.
Fair enough.
Whether that's with AlphaTauri or with Red Bull, he's made it quite clear that that's his dream to come back and drive with Red Bull.
Perez is still second in the championship. So we were dumping on him and we're saying, oh, wow, look at the bad last 3 races he has had. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not, the thing is...
He has had 3 bad races, but he's still performing well. And he is still that rear gunner to Max. Max doesn't need a rear gunner, really, but he's still performing.
True. And again, it has nothing to do with how good of a driver he is. All of my comments are solely based on the fact that Red Bull has proved time and time again that they don't care.
Probably.
And that's all I'm saying. Regardless of whether or not he's second, I would love to see him stay because I love Checo. I think he's great. But they just have a history. That's all I'm saying.
They do. But it doesn't necessarily mean Checo is the one who's going to be gone. Because, like, yes, they have a history. They screwed up with Albon in the past.
Yeah, they did.
And with, Gasly. They screwed those situations completely. So now you have Ricciardo winning the wings. You have, Tsunoda and De Vries. They're not replacing Perez. The only person that would replace Perez is someone on the grid who wants to challenge Max. That's who would replace him.
And Horner's not going to let that happen.
No. Even
Because
Ricciardo is too much of a threat. Because he doesn't give a fuck.
I don't know about that anymore.
I'm
not
think
sure.
so, but I think his attitude. I think his attitude is more of a threat. Versus Perez, he's older. He's kind of more of the tail end of his career. Just let him go.
Again, I'm not sure I agree with that. Like, I feel like Ricciardo is somewhat changed in that attitude.
Maybe.
He left Red Bull for a reason, right? Because he didn't want to play second fiddle to Max. He went out, he left, had a number of difficult years.
So you want him to go back. So you want him to go back and play a second fiddle to Max. The thing he didn't want.
But I think that's what I think that that's what he's willing to accept now. To be able to drive in Formula 1. I think that he has seen that that's kind of be the reality. If he wants to drive with or even have a chance at a second in the championship.
Maybe.
I don't know. He is older now too, so who knows?
He is. You got a point there. One I was going to bring up of a guy who had a bad weekend and who have now had there's some calls that he should be probably not in his seat. And that is Lance Stroll. And I'm mostly saying this kind of in response to like a WTF1 thing today being like, will Lawrence Stroll have to fire Lance? And while yes, there has been lack of performance issues, if you want to talk about a driver this season who also has had zero luck and bad strategy calls gone his way, it is Stroll.
Yes.
Right? Like,
I agree.
He finished this race in 9th, nipping Bottas on the line. Great job.
Revenge for Baku.
Yeah, revenge for 2017 Baku. Great job to get him. And in your home race, even better. But he in his last stint, from when he pit to when the end of the race, I want to say gained 7 spots.
Mm-hmm.
He was at the tail end of.
And he did really well.
Yeah, because once he got the car in clean air out of a DRS train, you can go. The DRS trains are killing F1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like maybe DRS is a bad thing.
You think?
You think? But and like qualifying again, bad luck in the qualifying, bad strategy call. You went on the intermediates. Should have gone on the slicks. Hey, happens. You and 2 other guys who are highly respected drivers made the same call. It happens. Going into the race, he was trying to do that undercut the first time. And what happened the second Stroll pitted in the first part of the race? Safety car.
Yeah. Got unlucky with that.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Spain, the car obviously wasn't that optimized in Spain, so Astons were the 3rd best team.
No.
Second.
No, and they
sixth and
brought a
seventh.
big upgrade. Well, and I was gonna say they
Yeah.
brought a big upgrade this weekend, and they looked a lot better.
And it rained out though, so you don't even have all the full data of
Yeah.
your
And,
upgrades.
and you didn't have FP1.
Yeah, because you lost the damn gopher bit through a wire or something like that
Yeah, sure.
with groundhog.
Yep.
Oh, the groundhogs.
Like, Stroll's really only had one actually bad race this season, and that would be Miami. Everything else, he is there.
Yeah, that was not a great
He's
thing.
done his thing. Without looking at it, what is Stroll's best finish this season?
6th.
6th?
See, that's what I mean. You don't even know. It's 4th.
What it? Oh, okay.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Good for him.
Australia, which we kind of put a little asterisk next to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Still classified as 4th. And then, yeah, crash out of Monaco happens. In the rain, mixed conditions. It happens.
Wasn't the only one.
Yeah, everyone hit the walls in there. He's the only one that hit the wall and the car broke. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think Stroll is getting a lot of shit on because of how good Alonso is doing.
Well,
But
Right.
Alonso is fucking Alonso.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
comparing a 2-time world champion to a guy who isn't even 25 yet.
That is, oh
Yeah.
my god, that hurts because it's like his 7th F1 season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts my soul.
Like, I get he doesn't have the same necessarily like track record as say a Leclerc. Like, I'm just trying to think who else is in his age group. Leclerc, Russell, those kinds of guys.
Leclerc, Russell, Ocon, Gasly.
Norris.
Yeah,
So,
all those young guys.
and he's
Well-
got, and he will never be able to get rid of the
Daddy's
daddy
money.
paid for this thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Even though like
So-
so many of them
But he is
are there
yeah,
because
okay. If you get into racing, I remember years ago we had a family friend who they got their son into go-karting, and they did a breakdown of one of their weekends, and they spent like $500 on a go-karting weekend. That's for tires and fuel.
Mhm.
A set of tires back then was like $200. I think it's now like close to 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you
It's-
need
okay.
money to get into the
Yeah.
low level, and not to say that this is the only sport that does this, hockey. But you need to have some money to get into this, and then to get to the next level, especially for this, there are very few who can get in purely on talent alone without any sort of financial backing.
Yep.
Like who was it?
very few.
Was it DeVries earlier this year where we had a case where because they took a loan or someone sponsored him or took a loan, I can't remember what it was, and they were basically trying to get money back because he had made an F1 seat or some stupid shit like that. But like,
was
this
that
is the length-
DeVries or was that I can't remember. It was either DeVries
I can't
or it was
I didn't see.
No, I know, or Piastri. Maybe in Piastri with like the whole
it might have been. It was one of the
getting
younger
F1.
guys.
Yeah, one of the guys who got in recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was some
But it
shenanigans
was like
there.
like the amount of money that was loaned out. Like you will need significant financial backing to even have a sniff at this.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So
Like for years too.
And that's not to say you can't get on talent alone. Like guys like Hamilton who didn't have that financial background growing up do get in.
There's very few rags to riches stories.
But yes,
but
it
they
is
do
a very
happen. Hamilton, you could say Ocon, Schumacher, guys who don't start off with that much money, getting into it and becoming successful. It happens.
Yeah,
but
I feel
rare.
I think it's less and less. It's more rare now than it was even like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But, okay. So to finish the point, like he doesn't necessarily have the prestige of some of these other guys, but he's also not a Mazepin.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's
Oh gosh, no.
At certain levels. He had a podium in a Williams, like the amount of times we've gone over this, he got a podium in a Williams that was on a downward trend. Still not as bad as it was like a year and a half ago, but like with all the stories that are coming out, how their facilities are like over a decade out of date.
Yeah.
Like that's an impressive result to get a.
And to think like when Stroll, I think Stroll's reputation got absolutely demolished when he was racing for Williams back then, because Williams was so bad in those like what 2017 2018 years, I guess 18 and 19 I think it was,
but they still had some smidge of prestige because they weren't known as a bottom feeder yet.
Oh, they were. That's where they were the bottom feeder, was those years when you had Stroll and Sorokin.
Yeah, but it like that. Like right now, we all know like Williams. That's a tough team to drive for. Like you got to really want it to get in. Like Russell clearly just wants an F1 seat. That's why he got in. Like this is still when they were like, oh, it's a couple bad years. They're just trying to save a little bit of money here, and then that way they can put it into the car and it'll be better next year.
But even last year, it was still like, if you pay, you can get in. Like it's kind of been the Williams thing, even when Stroll was there, right? Yeah. And why is Sargent there? Why is Latifi there? Same thing. You can pay, you get in. Pay to play.
Yep.
Oh well, we all know why Sargent's there.
Exactly. But like,
we all know.
I feel Stroll's development got screwed being at Williams then too, because what is Stroll's worst part of his actual skill set?
Saturday.
Exactly, qualifying.
You
know what didn't fucking matter back then? Qualifying. You know what he's usually pretty good at? Starts. You know what you're always gonna be good at? Starts, when you start from the back. So.
Yeah. No,
he gets a bad rap, and it's too much.
He does. He does.
Go ahead.
Also, when you're being compared to Alonso, like that's a lot, right? And I do feel bad for him. I really do. Like it sucks, and people I think very often forget that he has a lot more accomplishments, and he's not some like daddy's money driver. He actually does have talent. If you watch him closely, you can see that he's got a lot of skill. And honestly, like Alonso's going to be out of the sport one day. Like, sure, he might drive until he's like dead, but at one point he will be out of the sport.
Yeah.
And I think Lance will have an opportunity to shine.
He's a future F1 champion, according to Alonso.
They're saying Lance and Yuki in the future at that team, so that could be a fun pairing. Just saying.
But
you never know.
I was going to say, the other thing is we are not even halfway through this season.
Exactly.
Let's see what happens when maybe a couple more things go right for him. I mean, you do want to see him, be within, like, it's a 70-point difference. You'd like to see that maybe closer to 50 or 40, realistically, if there is like a good amount of talent and Alonso's saying like, yeah, this guy could be a future F1 champion. I'd like to think he's not just saying that, but maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't think he is. I think he believes it.
I think the gap will close up a little bit here. Again, I think we said this a week or two ago as well. Like this is the first real good car he's ever had to drive, so it's a very different
Mercedes
spot.
Yeah,
it's a very different spot to be in now that he's like battling for. He doesn't have to like pray for a single point from the racing gods. He can get points. You just need to see it. It'd be nice, and hopefully he'll take that next step up to consistently being like the 4th or 5th, battling Mercedes, picking up when like Russell crashes out. off a wall. So.
Yeah. Also, before we move on, I guess speaking of Williams and all that, quick shout out to Albon because
Driver of the day, easy.
Oh my god. Yeah, he kind of led the what's it called? DRS train.
Yep.
But it was just a good result, and I'm pretty happy he got that from Williams. That was some well deserved points.
Yep. And they brought a big upgrade as well this weekend.
Just to him though. Just to him.
Just to him. And, well, it paid off.
Yeah, look at the difference between him and Sargent there. Like that is huge.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sargent also, sort of didn't make
his car died, and he wasn't even last, I think, when his car died.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else?
Easily driver of the day. Well, I was gonna say, also great call on the Saturday because he was one of the first ones in for slicks.
Yeah.
And his team listened to him. Must be nice.
Wow.
Oh, and also we should probably mention Hülkenberg getting on the second row, and then
not
because all the penalties on Saturday.
I was gonna say we'd sort of be remiss to not go over all the penalty. No, we don't have to go over every single one, but all of the penalties coming out of Saturday, and then Norris's on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
the Norris one makes sense. Because you are holding up people getting into the pit lane just to get a gap, so you don't have to get held up yourself. That I would say is unsportsmanlike, and you're trying to be tactical because you know you're screwed. And instead of being screwed out by just, the luck of where it is, you're trying to screw other people.
Yeah.
No, okay, so if it's okay, Steven. Okay, so Norris builds that gap. Guy behind him builds that gap. Guy behind him builds the gap. Anywhere there's teammates close to each other, I'm going to slow down. Then you could have a checking up effect, and then you can have guys running into each other because they're not expecting the guy in front of them to slow down going into the pits.
The good old accordion.
Exactly. So you got to call that. You do.
I know. It was, for me, it was just a little surprising, I guess, with how they called some of the other things. Like, I thought they might have hit Hamilton with an unsafe release.
Also thought that. I was shocked.
Nah, he was fine.
Was it?
I don't think so.
I love the Toto. I love the Toto. Ooh, weaving it and making fun of Alonso.
Yeah, that was funny.
But yeah, that was a fine. I didn't think that was anything.
I thought they might have but again, I think it's mostly because I felt like they were calling it very tight this weekend. So I thought there was a little bit of a little more leniency shown to a champion versus a couple others that were called a little bit tighter.
Fair.
Maybe.
And would it surprise me if they call a world champion a little different than a bunch of guys who haven't won once? Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Fair enough.
Well, we've seen it before.
Anyway, I think that's all we got for the Canadian Grand Prix. So, moving on to Indycar, which was one of the races of the season, if you did not catch this, and it has been the staple for the Please Like My Sport people of IndyCar. It was an amazing race.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, you had, Pelot coming through and winning, which, Pelot's been on fire, but I wouldn't say it was guaranteed Pelot to win because the race was hectic.
No.
There was different alternate strategy calls. There was.
You don't have to go. You can go back a little bit further. What happened to him during practice?
Oh, he binned it hard.
He put it in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was sitting there at that point. I was like, well, he might have been able to take off this weekend. Now he's going to be struggling for points.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he struggled. Also in practice, you had a great incident between Dixon and Power where Power's double birds came out and he was flipping them off because Dixon let Grosjean go by.
Saw.
Yeah, Dixon let Grosjean go by and then didn't know Power was there and just basically went hard left right into him. Like literally something out of iRacing you see. It's like, woof.
Yeah, and he was pissed, but they were joking around the next day prior to the race, so it's like, it's fine.
It was an honest mistake. And it's like, I couldn't see you. I didn't know. Team didn't tell me. Like, I'm sorry, but that it happens.
Well, and he had a
rare.
really good interview. He had a really good interview. I think you had two really good interviews after where Power was clearly pissed, but he sort of contained it a little bit watching the replay. And he was just like, what the fuck is going on? And then they talked in the car going back, and Dixon's like, yep, just didn't see him. Feel really sorry for him. Feel sorry for my team, and that both of these teams are now pulling overtime.
Yeah. I think Dixon ruined his tub. They can't even to a new tub that race.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not good. But you had
Again,
multiple...
They were joking after. So they're fine.
In this race, you had multiple different strategies, guys running... And early part of the race, guys couldn't keep it on the track.
No.
And
it was a mess.
Guys were all over the place, stalling, getting stuck in the kitty litter, guys wrecking, guys spinning. But the fun thing is, it's Road America. So it's such a long fucking lap that you're only, like, by the time you catch up to the safety car, you do one lap behind it, and by the time you come around next time, you're ready to go. Like, they didn't, I think it was only, like, one lap behind the safety car, like, to form up. If they were already formed up by the time they came back around, pits were open, they either pit. So you would lose, like, 3 or 4 laps max under safety car, just because of the length of the track.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was good. Fun stats from the race. There was 444 on-track passes. 386 for position.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can believe it.
Wow.
There was a lot of elbows flying in the that left-hand turn where there's a large runoff to the right.
Yep. 110 passes inside the top 10.
Yeah.
And 32 inside the top 5. So it was anyone's race, and it was chaotic. It was fun. And this is the thing, IndyCar fans. Yes, it's a good racing product. Yes, you've had the best racing product on track for at least a decade. Make people care. Yeah. IndyCar, you don't sell yourself. Fucking be a hooker and sell yourself. Like, no, but they don't.
That's a marketing strategy.
Their marketing is terrible. Like,
yeah,
there
and then
is
it has
nothing.
been something that we've talked about. Yeah, it's been a point of, I mean, we've gone over this quite a bit. Like, IndyCar does a terrible job of marketing themselves. They frequently shoot themselves in the foot with how they market it. Even just with like being able to watch the events.
This was Peacock only.
Was it Peacock only?
Yeah. See.
Well, I went to go watch the start of it before, because this started at 1. The Canadian GP started at 2. I was going to watch the first little bit and have the...
I was watching it on TSN the whole time.
Okay, you were online, right? It wasn't on cable.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Cable.
Oh, so it would have been TSN Plus, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
But even then, right? Like, you're putting your product behind a paywall, which makes it more like it's harder to access the races. So it makes it more difficult for people to become like new fans of something that you can't actually watch really like consistently every Sunday that it's on.
It was on the USA Network, so it was on cable.
Yes.
It wasn't Peacock only. The only Peacock only they have is Toronto.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Bad call, but whatever.
Horrible call. That's unbelievable.
I know. Yeah, so it was on USA. But yeah. In terms of, please like my sport, in the aftermath of, the F1 race where you get stuck in these DRS trains and they get IndyCar, making so many overtakes, you had this great tweet, really. I want to read this to you, and I want your thoughts on it.
Hurry up and read it.
IndyCast, spelled IndyCar is wrong, so IndyCast, has so many overtakes that they're almost meaningless. Positions change so frequently and easily that they aren't as significant as they are in F1. Should F1 have more? Sure. Does IndyCar have way too much? Yes. That is the tweet. guy was out there saying,
What?
yeah, that there is too many overtakes in IndyCar.
Okay, that's literally like the whole point.
Damn,
Like-
they're racing so hard. I don't want to watch this. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
They're racing so hard that there's so many overtakes. There's so many different battles going on. Like, how is that not exciting? That doesn't make any sense.
That is the worst take I have ever seen in the history of motorsports. That
We
too
have
many
some hot takes.
that too many overtakes is a bad thing.
That's a hot take. Like, very hot. As in, like, a wrong take.
And like it's not like it's an inflated take with like DRS passes and stuff like that. Yes, they have pushed a pass, but that's a limited amount.
And it's strategic.
Yes.
And it's strategic. But yeah, to say
Very.
there's
Yeah.
so many overtakes. Okay.
That's like the worst thing I've ever heard.
I was gonna say is there some validity to it? Sure, because
No.
can either of you name? Well, can either of you name the F1 race with the most overtakes ever?
I want to say it was 2019 in China.
It was.
Boom! Suck
But-
it.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
of course Sean
only
could
the-
do that.
I was gonna say the only thing there is some people are like, well, that race I don't remember. Well, it's also probably because
That was a great race, actually.
Well, I was gonna say, and you probably don't remember it very fondly because you had to wake up super early for it or stay up super late for it.
Yeah.
So there might be some negative
Right.
connotation there.
Yeah, but they
So-
also the super long back straight and DRS was incredibly effective at that time. So it was a free pass every single lap by someone.
Like the passes here, like if you go back and look at the IndyCar Twitter, like you had Benjamin Peterson just randomly
Bump drafting.
nosediving
He
people.
was bump drafting.
was
Who was he bump
bump
drafting?
drafting.
Oh my god! Like I was like losing my mind seeing that. I'm like Jesus.
Yeah, so is there some validity that to the point of a lot of overtakes does not necessarily mean it's entertaining? Sure, but that's not the case here. Like you need to look at the quality of the overtake and that there were some good overtakes on
Mm-hmm.
It
This
shows how competitive the field is. How anyone can beat
Yes.
anyone any weekend. Unless your name is Alex Pillow, then you don't get beat because you were just
Unless your name-
fantastic. And you take him in your fantasy because, you just have great taste.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
unless your name is
uh,
Alex Pillow since May 1st.
Yeah,
basically.
he's just been yeah.
What?
It's
Yes.
give him the trophy. And this is what I've been banging the table for. It's like, when does the championship fight start, huh? Who is still in it? At this point, 5 guys are in the championship fight, and you cannot say anything else. And that's being
Mm-hmm.
generous.
And that's hilarious because
Yes.
I think, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We were like, yeah, I could see maybe up to 8 or 9. And then
No.
Pillow just says, no.
No, it's been
No,
getting.
there isn't.
Yeah.
There's
been
me
getting more
and everyone who. There's those and those that they have to give points to because
Again.
they're still second.
I'm putting Dixon and Pato in there being nice. Realistically, this is a 3-horse race for the championship.
Yes. I agree.
And when Pillow wins this and dominates on his way to winning it, he needs to be in F1. Needs to be.
Yes, I would agree with that. Pillow into F1. That's a train I will happily get on.
Yeah.
So is he breaking his McLaren contract before he even starts it, really?
Well, would be kind of karma for McLaren, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It would be.
So,
They've signed too many names.
I know, Taylor, in your mind, you're jamming into karma there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
see.
am.
Anyway. But yes, that's kind of, I just wanted to talk about how great IndyCar is. People should watch IndyCar. Please watch our sport. Help it grow. It's so good.
Yes.
But also just shows like IndyCar is one of the few series that has been growing in car count over the few years. NASCAR's been declining. F1 refuses to add any cars.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is in these
And-
sports.
And they also have a Canadian race in Toronto.
Speaking of Toronto, actually, Steven.
Yay!
So me and Steven went to the Toronto Argos game, which is CFL football, on Sunday. Did you notice anything of the track?
What? I didn't.
They repaved the last corner complex.
They did.
They did.
Did not register.
So that could be interesting. So
Interesting.
just some
Well,
thoughts
I
before-
officially registered. I
As a marshal?
registered to work it, so yeah,
Nice.
should be fun.
Yeah, we're still working our plans for that. Might stay downtown, might not. We'll see.
No, we're staying downtown this year.
It'll be a party weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Nice.
So, does anyone have anything else?
Shout out to Marcus Armstrong for making Fast 6.
Dude, he's
Isn't that
good.
right?
He's good.
He looked good. I may or may not have thrown some money on him at one point and hoped, and there was a point where he was leading, but then he sort of, I don't want to say he got screwed by strategy, went off strat, and just
Strategy didn't work out.
No, and that's what happens in the IndyCar stuff, right?
Yeah.
So where did he end up? He got shuffled way back.
Yeah, he had a pit at the end there under green though, right?
Yeah. I guess the other thing, got to feel a little bad for Colton Herta, just because he ran out of not ran out, but had to go heavy fuel save at the end, and then just slowly
Yeah.
got
fell back.
past. Still came top 5, good finish, but and then Scott Dixon coming 4th after starting at the back with Will Power because they wrecked.
I had money. I put $2 on Dixon and Power before the weekend, so you can imagine how thrilled I was that they had a terrible Friday, terrible Saturday.
Stop jinxing my fantasy team, you asshole.
Notice how I don't bet on Pillow.
I just put money on Polo to win the championship, so
I did that a while ago.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we go, I want to do a quick little thing. Unless,
Okay.
is there any quick news you want to talk about, if anything?
Stewart Haas Racing making an announcement tomorrow, probably Josh Berry to replace Kevin Harvick. So, good story there.
Yeah, he's already been replacing guys, and Harvick's retiring, so that's a guy who's going to fill that seat.
And
yeah.
well, and he's earned it too, right?
Oh, he's done his time. Definitely.
Yeah, I did my waiting.
Yeah.
11 years of it in Xfinity.
Ooh. Almost works. Almost.
But yeah, unless you wanted to touch on the jump start.
I
stuff.
don't want to touch that at all. Nope. Not going there. So I wanted to have a quick thing, because this is something I realized watching the race this weekend. There are some, how confident are you guys that you know every F1 driver's number?
Number?
And no cheating.
Uh,
No cheating. Close everything you have that
Not
has.
confident.
I want to see how many you guys can
some.
guess.
Well,
Okay.
I was gonna say, did you notice this because of the DeVries Magnussen incident?
Yes.
Okay, good. That wasn't the only one then.
It was.
It's gonna be
It
so
was
bad.
that.
I
It was
don't know.
that. And also there was one number. I'm like, I didn't realize that was his number. So
Okay. Are we doing team by team or
team
how
by
are
team.
you-
Team
how
by
you doing?
team.
Okay.
So Red Bull.
Okay.
What is
so we
Mac's
know
number?
Red Bull. 1,
33.
obviously.
There's your free space. Steven gets the bonus marks. Yeah.
1.
Paris.
Whatever.
11.
Yep.
Yeah. Double 1. Alonso.
Did not know that.
33.
Alonso is 33.
Oh, it's not 33.
It's 14.
Yes.
14?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Hamilton.
44.
Good job. Science.
60. Oh, I thought you were gonna. Hang on, I thought we were going by.
20.
Oh right. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I was going by.
Six?
I was going by standings on the website.
I was gonna say Russell 63.
Russell
fine,
63.
whatever.
So yeah. Sorry. I did Alonso. I guess I had to do Stroll.
18.
Yes.
Signs.
Russell 63. Signs 55.
26?
55.
55? Oh.
Signs is 55. Leclerc.
Yeeks. 16.
There you go. You're
Obviously.
seeing a trend in the ones Taylor
Love.
knows.
Yeah.
Ocon.
What number is Ocon? I don't know the
8?
Alpine.
I don't know.
Drawing a blank.
12.
Steven, pick something.
I have no clue.
Pick a number, you coward.
69.
31.
31.
Pierre Gasly.
French.
18?
No, that's Stroll.
Stroll's 18.
Right,
went
I
over
forgot
this.
about that. Damn. Does it have an 8 in it? 14?
That's Alonso. We went over this. Damn it, Taylor.
How right we to go over this? Oh, I'm so bad at numbers.
The funny thing is,
This is the one thing I'm
she's
really
so
bad.
close too, which is hilarious.
60 is Leclerc.
Yes. 17?
Not 19, is it?
No, the answer is 10. We're looking for 10.
10.
Because the
Oh,
1
10.
and a loop.
0.
So you had a 1 and a 4, which kind of has a loop, and an 8, which
Yeah.
has 2 loops. So you're so close.
That's why I went with 19.
So bad at these.
Exactly.
I'm so bad at numbers.
okay.
Oh, so terrible.
Lando
Okay.
Norris.
Who's next?
4.
4?
Good job.
84.
This is the one I had no fucking idea. I'm like, really? This is number?
84.
Oscar Piastri.
84.
How confident are you in that, Steven?
I'm pretty confident, but the way you're saying it makes me less confident.
61.
Meet in the middle, it's 81.
Oh, it's 81.
Oh!
And that is such a weird
right.
number.
Yeah.
That's a weird number.
I thought he was 84 because I thought it was tied to Norris's 4, but
No.
damn it.
Let's go. Valtteri Bottas. That's an easy one.
17.
My God. You're so bad
What?
at this. Steven was Bottas.
I don't remember actually.
77, guys.
77.
Oof. Joe?
Did I say 17?
You said 17.
Oh, well, at least I got one number right.
Seems like
Joe? 43.
No, a different Hendrick car. Wait, I'm sorry, 48's Hendrick car. Never mind.
Oh, now you're screwing
Now
me
I
up.
screwed up.
Oh,
Oh my
31?
God.
67?
I said a
he's got a
Hendrick car.
weird
So I
number.
screwed up. It's 24.
24.
Oh,
Yeah. Nico Hulkenberg.
Nico.
getting better. 67.
No, isn't he like a single digit?
I don't think.
Is it
I
like
thought he was a double
5?
digit.
He is a double digit.
No,
15.
no. It'll be up there then. It'll be in like the 50s. I want to say. Where's
57.
What track were you just at this week?
Canada?
Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
There's your clue.
78.
27.
79.
27.
27.
Oh. Magnussen?
Why can I not think of it? See, the sad part is all I'm picturing is the AlphaTauri number because that one was wrong and Magnussen's number was right next to it, and that's the sad part.
18?
Stroll.
No, we already had that one.
Stroll. Stroll. Damn it. Oh my God. Magnussen's 20.
20.
20, okay. So DeVries is what? 21.
21.
Good job.
Yuki is 22.
Good job.
Oh,
What's
okay.
Albon?
Well, that's easy.
While we're on it, what's Albon?
Part of me wanted to say 7 for a second.
God damn
20, 20,
I know it's
28.
wrong.
it. Damn it. We were at 20, then 21, then 22. The answer
23?
23.
Okay.
And finally, Logan Sargent.
Oh, who cares? One bald ego emoji.
No, it's 2 for the Second Amendment.
50.
Oh, yes.
I
It's 2
I
for-
actually don't know if that's it. But I just made that up.
2 bald ego emojis.
Well,
2 bald eagles.
wow, you guys are really bad at that.
Okay, Steven's a lot better than I am at it. I'm terrible.
You
and
know,
that's,
Steven only got like 3 others more correct. Like, wow, that was brutal.
That was
Okay, to be fair, I don't have to memorize these numbers. I just have to watch them and like, okay, I just need to know car number and car color.
You got a point there.
Beyond that, I don't know.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay. Anyway, on that wonderful note, I think we should wrap up.
That was embarrassing.
Oh, Logan Sargent's number 2.
I just said that.
I didn't hear you say that. I'm not paying attention.
Oh my god. Anyway, so on that note, thank you very much for listening to this episode. We'll be back next week. Please feel free to give a like, comment, give us a follow on social media, all the good things.
Tell Sean to go fuck himself.
Yes, thank you, and Steven, go fuck yourself. Goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.